Good morning from Disturbia on the 19th of March. Take a look at this pink sheet that's been sprayed in and spread over the whole sky. It's an electric blanket. Driving temperatures for the glow ball, it went down to -3 last night, -3. I remember back the beginning of Corona, when was it? I think it was 2020. Or was it 2021? I'm not sure, but in March of that year, on March 1st, we had 28 degrees here in Disturbia. And in the morning, it was something like 10. You see how the temperature fluctuates. What's the difference between -3 and 10? 13 degrees. Where are all these degrees coming from? Does anybody know? They're not coming from the sun. Can't be. The sun isn't hot one day and cold the next, and just because they spray in a blanket doesn't mean it's cold. You see, this is what the forces that should not be are trying to impress upon us with their glow ball. They're saying, well, you know, when we've got a blanket in front of the sun, it's cooler. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to cool the atmosphere and cool the sun by spreading an electric blanket in front of it. All that does is make it warmer, though, people. It's all reverse psychology and counterintuition. And I know a lot of people don't even care. It's like, who cares, you know? Fine, you know, if that's how you think. But it is affecting you because it's changing you. Remember Obama and his change you can believe in. People say Obama cared about us. Oh, yeah, he did care. He cared about babies in the womb, too. He's the one who came up with the idea of partial birth abortion. People think that abortion is just nothing, you know, it's just cutting out cells. It's not just cells. It is a living being. The sperm and the egg are alive. And when they connect, you've already begun creating a boy or a girl. Somebody told me the other day, it's not human yet. Of course it is. What would it be then? What would it be? You see, people are so programmed. They're packed tightly into a channel of non-thinking, and they can't think so-called outside the box. They can't be free of it because they're ensnared by it. It's totally pagan. I told somebody the other day, this is pagan. Take a look at this so-called plane flying straight down to the ground. Somebody told me, well, the reason why it looks like that is because the earth is round. Are you kidding? I mean, really. But the thing is, it's up to the individual to safeguard his own soul. It's up to us. Take a look at the ground. There's very little frost. There was no frost on my window this morning, even though it's -3. You know, sometimes it's 1 degree and I have frost on my window. Why is that? Well, it seems to me to be that if there is no frost, there is a lack of moisture. What does that mean? It means they're taking all the water out of the atmosphere. That's what they do. What does that mean? It means that we can't breathe right. How many animals do I know at our barn that have lung issues? People walk around with their horses and they have a pail around their nose to inhale them. Daily. They have to. If they don't, their horse will die. They have asthma. Can you imagine? Just take a look at the sky, pink and blue. They're spraying in pink, and it's not because of the sun. Somebody said, well, these colors have to do with the sun. No, they don't. Sometimes the sun is yellow when it goes down. Sometimes it's white when it goes down. Sometimes there's blue around the sun. You know what's wrong? The fact that people instinctively, I think, know that as soon as they touch this topic, they're going to have to make a confession, and they're going to have to realize that there's wickedness all around, and they don't know what to do about it. They're not going to call on the name of the Lord to save them. No, they're not going to do that. They're going to keep on being wicked, that grace may abound. Here in Germany, I don't know if anybody cares or has heard about it, but we had pre-elections. They moved the election time forward from this year September to this year February. And of course, the German majority voted for the so-called Christian Democratic Union. They are not Christian because they advocate abortion. And if they don't advocate abortion, tell me why they are on the side of the left and of the Greens. The Green ideology is pagan. And people don't want to hear that. People believe we're highly evolved. And killing your baby is just part of, industrial society, which has reached its peak. Well, if it's reached its peak, it's going to fall at some time. And you can't stop it. Anyway, this Christian Democratic Union met yesterday with the old parliament. Even though a new parliament has been voted in, they met with the old parliament and passed so-called laws. That you can change the laws. This is what they want to do. What does it say in Daniel? He thought to change times and laws. And of course, mankind has been doing this for a long time, changing laws. But I'll tell you what, you cannot change the laws of God. The laws of God do not change. Do not kill means do not kill. And it's always been that way, and it will never change. Imagine the sun came up this morning at 10 o'clock and it didn't even come up yet. Can you imagine what chaos there would be on the earth? Oh my God, why doesn't the sun come up? What's happening? What's going on? And the sun came up at a different time every day. Maybe the sun didn't go down at all anymore. What would people do? How would Satan react to that? Satan just exploits the laws, and so do his minions. And they say, if this law doesn't suit us, we're just going to get rid of it. We're going to get rid of the debt ceiling. It's no holds barred now. We are going to arm Europe. Well, the only reason why they want to arm Europe is so that they can fight. That's what they've wanted all along. That's why it seems to me that this whole pre-election agenda had to do with getting this debt ceiling removed and removing the laws sooner. You see, they divine the serpent. Their God is the devil, and they do what he tells them to do, and now is the time. They're going to get this thing revved up now. I mean, it's been being revved up for a long time. But step by little step, those are Angela Merkel's words, step by little step, we will achieve our goals. I remember I was at home one day with a middle ear infection, listening to the Bundestag. I was watching it on television. I had a television back then. I think it was something like 2010. Maybe earlier. I'm not sure. I haven't been able to find the video either where she says that. Step by little step, we will achieve our goals. And I do believe that the Pope of Rome, Benedict, was at the Bundestag that day. And he was reading from Psalm 100, I believe it was. It is he who made us and not we ourselves. Anyhow, the whole point is that this treachery has gone down so incrementally and so suddenly that people have no idea what it's all about. Just like these electric lines. Their lines go throughout all the earth. This is how the devils communicate with one another. It's not bringing electricity into your home. the electricity takes place at the socket. There is electricity on these lines. I mean, you can die from it. It's very hot. If you touch that, you're going to get grilled. I had a colleague, and she is still my colleague, and she told me a couple years ago she had to go to a funeral. There was people monkeying around at the train station in Frankfurt, and one of them got electrocuted to death. That's what this electricity does to you. And they're telling you that electricity is going to save us. Why do they do that? Because electricity, is the prince of the power of the air, who is Satan. But people don't know that because people won't read their Bible. They refuse to read the Bible. They won't do it. Why won't they do it? Because they've been programmed not to. Mankind is so easily programmed. People use words to destroy reality. That's what they're doing. They're trying to destroy reality and make you believe and make believe. And it's force. Just as it says in the Bible, he will cause all to take his mark. Rich, poor, free, and bond. Male and female. And the greens are behind it, and not only the greens are behind it, but the blacks, the blues, the yellows, and the reds. It's all one thing. That's why they were forcing the pre-elections, and that came from the opposition. You see, they're all in this together. They're very, very good actors. Very good actors. I'm not saying that an actor plays a politician. I'm saying that the politician is the actor. They are high priests of Baal. I know quite a few really seemingly intelligent people who wanted to vote for the CDU and Friedrich Merz. And I said, yeah, but he's CDU. Look at Angela Merkel. Look at the complicity back in the days of Merkel. She could do whatever she wanted to do. Somebody told me, well, she's just sitting back and laughing. Well, she may be laughing now. And then as soon as she got out of politics, Merz came back. There he is again, resurrected from the dead. Where did he go? He had gone to BlackRock, and he still works for them. Who's BlackRock? The children of Esau. Think of the protocols of the learned elders of Zion, where they tell us that they're going to disenfranchise us. How are they going to do it? They're going to do it with taxes. How are they going to do that? They're going to rewrite the laws, which they have accomplished now, yesterday, in the Bundestag. All of this debate is window dressing. They know what they're going to do, and they're going to do it even though it's not lawful. This Bundesverfassungsgericht, this high court of law here in Germany that's supposed to protect the Constitution, said go ahead and change the laws. That's all right. Go ahead with an old parliament, even though the people have voted for the new one, and just go ahead and destroy these laws. Go ahead and do it. So you see, they're all complicit one with another against mankind. And you know that, too, because of the way they speak. They say, well, this is really going to hurt the taxpayer. This is going to be bad for the consumer. We're not going to be able to grow the economy. Blah, blah, blah. It's always the same old crap. And we just eat it up. Well, we're going to go for the CDU again because, we don't have anything better here in Germany. They should have all voted for the AfD and see what would happen, because it couldn't be any worse than it is now. But people, they think that they're being measured. They think that they're being rational. And it's irrational. And actually, even voting, I wouldn't vote. Somebody asked me who I was going to vote for. I said, I'm not German. I can't vote. I've applied for the German citizenship because I can keep both my American and then I could take on the German, but I haven't heard yet. It said it may take 15 months, and probably I won't get it, but at least I tried. The problem is I can't keep my mouth shut. The thing that is in the Bible, the Christians so-called will always say, well, the restrainer is holding back. The restrainer is holding back. What's holding back is the truth being told. That is the restrainer, if there is one at all. I think they just added that to the Bible for confusion. The problem with people is that they've been trained by the devil not to think and to accept his wily ways. That's the whole problem. You have to almost learn to think like the devil in order to figure out what's going on. I had a boss at the Red Cross where I used to work, and he was so devious, and I couldn't get my mind wrapped around it. I didn't accept it. It didn't even dawn on me that he might be so devious. But I'm telling you, when it dawned on me how devious it was, many, many scales fell from my eyes. The problem is we've had scales plastered over our eyes from day one. You have to do this, you have to do that, you can't do this, you can't do that, the earth is round, there's evolution, we come from apes, blah, blah, blah. This is global warming, it's all your fault, CO2 is dangerous for our health. On and on it goes. And with every lie, they plaster one big scale in front of our eyes until we just cannot see. And even over our ears that we cannot hear. Jesus said, eyes to see, ears to hear. And we're just not doing it. We're just not getting it. Why is that? Because at the same time we've been taught not to think, and we've been taught to think that evil is good and good is evil, and what is very highly likely is very highly unlikely. Because it's all about science, which is actually magic. They just changed the word. And these words are very important, you know. People can put you in a spell and under a trance. And you can see how they do it. Just watch iPad Go 1. Or iPad Go 2, I think it is, actually. That came out years ago, just after 9/11, I do believe. And they show you how they do a little tap dance. They swivel their fingers. And lo and behold, they put you under a trance. I know people that are like that, and I know how they work now. It's very, very hard to resist evil if you don't know that it's overcoming you. And this is how Satan has trained us up. And schooling, and education, and media, and medical. It all works together to sabotage the salvation that God has prepared for his creation. Take a look at what's going on here. A lot of trees. This used to be thick with trees. Look at it now. They're not showing you this on the news, and if they do, they'll say it's your fault. I remember back in the 80s, they started talking about acid rain. And then they came up with this idea of global warming. The problem is people aren't thinking from A to B. They just take the portion, the spoonful of sugar, as it were, which is poisonous, as they receive it. And they're not thinking, they're not looking in context, not looking at the big picture. But you see, we're not given context. That's why we don't think of it. And we don't think because we're taught not to. You see how this all works together. And for the evil. God works all things together for the good, for those who love him and are called according to his purpose. That's Romans 8:28. That's what my mother quoted all the time, and my stepfather. And this is how they do it. Take a look at this blue shite rising from this mall here. Look at it. This is what's killing the trees, not CO2. But people will not wake up. They will not see it. I know people that are so intelligent. They're much more intelligent than me. But they don't know the truth, you see. They don't know the truth. They won't face the truth. You start talking truth and they'll start humming or talking over you or change the subject or get up and walk away or God knows what. And this is why the whole world is going to follow after the beast. But I still continue to do these videos, not that many, not that often anymore. Because I just don't think people care. But on the other hand, I have to be a witness. I want to be a witness. I want to witness this treachery for people who can't see. And maybe you just say the right word and people will wake up out of their trance. You know how they say triggering. Maybe I can trigger people to wake up. Look at all these spikes here. What are they for? What is this gate here for? Take a look at it. It's a gate of Baal. This is where they go. This is where the merchants are, the merchandise. And they making merchandise out of our souls. And it really, if people would read the Bible, you'd see all this in there. It's all in there. Like I say, I'm not the brightest bulb. I'm not a good reader. But for some reason, God has helped me to see a lot of things. I don't know everything. A lot of people know a lot more than me, but I'll tell you what, they still say that the Messiah is of the tribe of Judah, born in Judah, which is not in the Bible at all. It's not in there. They don't even read the Gospels. Why do they have us preoccupied with Paul? So that we don't read what the Messiah said, you see. But anyway, this video is all over the place as usual. But I really hope to reach somebody, anybody, for the truth, because only the truth can set you free. Not lies. If you continue in lies, you're going to be blinded. The forces that should not be, at least here in Assyria, are going to plunge us all into debt like we've never seen before. Take a look back in Genesis where there was debt in Egypt. There was no food, and Joseph had stored up food. The people were giving away everything to the state for food. Till finally they said, we don't have anything more to give. So we give ourselves. We sell ourselves to you. And this is what's coming up. This is the mark of the beast. Selling yourself to the state for food. Not spiritual food, but for that spoonful of sugar, which helps the medicine go down.